Hello, I'm Lauren, and welcome to Improving the World. I'm an international improviser based in Hong Kong, and I speak to amazing improv women all over the world. Today being no different, I am speaking with Martine Ildal Utne. She is a Norwegian in Trondheim, Norway, and we are talking about expressing your voice and thoughts and opinions in an improv troupe company ensemble. How do you make sure that you are heard, that you are not silenced, and that you help to drive change? We will get through all of that. And P.S., have you subscribed yet to Improving the World? I think you want to, right? Do subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the video. Martina, how are you?
Hello, I'm very good.
You are an improviser. You have a theater background. When you moved away from Oslo and you joined an improv group and you were a new member, there was a period when you were getting adjusted and finding out how you share your opinion and your voice, being the new person in the group. And I think this is a really interesting and beautiful topic. So we'll talk about this today. How did you figure out when it was the right time to share your thoughts? Is there a right time? And how do you share your voice, especially when you're the new person?
Yeah, it's not easy at all. You know, when you're new in a group, you don't want to step on anybody's toes. You kind of want to just blend in, find your place, and you want everybody to like you. You don't want any issues with anybody. But for me, it was very early on. I could feel like, it's something is off in this group. I didn't feel like I belonged. I was unsure of, do they trust me? Am I allowed to play in any shows soon? Because I wasn't invited to play in any shows, and I didn't know if that was just because I was new or if it was because I wasn't good enough. So for me as a person, I have trouble to not speak up. When I feel that myself or anybody else around me is treated in a way they shouldn't be, I have a hard time not speaking up.
That's a really good quality. I think you should feel proud of that.
And I am. But it's not easy to be this person always I have to say something about this. And sometimes I just wish I could just shut up and let somebody else do the shouting. But anyway, for me, it was very early on. I told the whole group, like, okay, there's something here that doesn't work and doesn't work for me. Can we talk about it and can we fix it? And luckily for me, they were so appreciative of me speaking up, and they were open and asked me, okay, what are you feeling? And is there anybody else feeling the same way? And it was. So they were super appreciative of seeing the whole situation from my perspective as a new member.
Did you, before that, have individual conversations, or did you send any texts or like this kind of thing, or did you wait till everyone was in a room together and then talk?
I'm gonna just talk about what happened for me. At that point, yes, I did have individual conversations, but I tend to have those conversations with the other people that was as new as me, just to check in. Is this something I'm only feeling, or do you also feel this? And how should we talk about it? And it's not like the moment I sense something, I gotta shout. You kind of have to feel it and check, is this a thing, or is this just something that happened that day? Yeah, I did have individual conversations, and I think at that point, I thought I was maybe addressing it to some of the leaders or older members. But when looking back, I don't think I was very clear. And I don't think it was easy for them to understand the seriousness of it. So what happened was basically me saying to the whole group, okay, you guys, I feel this and I feel we should talk.
Let's break that down. I enjoy that you did a sense check with other people to say, hey, am I going crazy? Is this just me? How are you feeling? This is what I'm thinking. And I think there's a really fine line there between gossip and creating waves and sort of a self-sanity check, because sometimes part of the issue about speaking up potentially is that you're thinking, oh, it's only me. I'm the crazy one in the corner. I'm going to ruffle feathers and cause problems. And no matter what, you should always be, as you rightly said, saying what you need to say and speaking up, because if nothing else, you were right, there were other people also feeling similarly. Just doing that kind of sense check. And there's almost a political move too, isn't it? Because you are checking in, and it's not even about creating allies, but making sure that when you have that group meeting, you're not just bombarding them and they're like, where did this come from? This is out of nowhere. It's sort of a pre-step to having that conversation that is, if done well, very smart. The other thing you said, which I love, is that when you got in the group, you talked about how you felt. So it wasn't pointing fingers like, hey, you, I hate you. It was, this is what's going on with me. I'm sharing how I feel. I want you to know this. And you kept it very individual and your perspective. I think that's really lovely.
I think that's very important as a person and a human being, but also an improviser. When you feel something like that, or you want to make a change and speak up about something, it's very important to do the I feel this way and this makes me feel, and don't point fingers, because you're not going to get a good conversation out of that, and you're probably not going to change anything. Making people aware of how your actions or what you're saying is affecting me this way. It's easier for the people to take a deep breath and listen to what you say. But if you say, you are very rude or something,
yeah, it's very offending. I want to be clear, you and I had a conversation before this interview, so I'm not putting context onto this that's coming out of left field. Does gender play into this for you in this conversation? Was part of the context, do you think, to do with gender?
Yes. I think it has, I just gotta say first that in my group, I have different groups too, but this big group that I first started in back in 2013, I think at that moment we were 5 women and 9 men.
Big group, whoa. But okay, so you were a minority, but in terms of improv, a decent percentage, not good enough, but pretty good.
And also probably, I don't know if this is very Scandinavian or just my group, I never felt that gender issue at all. Well, never is a lie. I have, but more recently being aware, seeing what's happening and learning a lot more about gender roles and how it can be an issue both on stage or just in society. Learning more, I see more as well too. But my group has been very good at just talking about it, and if anything has happened, we talk about it immediately and we fix it. I've never felt taken less seriously because I'm a woman in this group, but I think me, because of the society we live in, kind of tend to be afraid of speaking up, because I don't want to be labeled as this annoying woman that shouts a lot and speaks up. So sometimes I'm very careful. At least when I was younger, I was afraid of talking too loud. So yes, gender, absolutely.
As a person and a woman who is comfortable sharing her voice, have you ever felt like someone was stopping that and they were like, could you just not? Could you just zip it for a sec? Or did you feel silenced? Have there been times where you felt?
Yeah, and this is, I think, probably the only bad experience I've had with this group, considering gender. We were playing a show, and it was me and, I think, 5 men, maybe. The man I was playing with was also a bit older than me. At that point, I think I was 22, and then they were going on 30. I really felt like, oh shit, I have to, like, demand my spot in this show. I was talked over. I physically was pushed off the stage.
Wow.
I don't know what happened. It never happened before and not after, but it was just, this show was insane. I don't know what happened. And I said it immediately after. But I didn't make a scene during the show. I kind of like, okay, I gotta pull through this. Instead of making a scene, I really fought for my place. So I did also play a part in this show. I could just speak for myself, but if I was another person, wasn't used to making your way, I would be completely crushed during that show. I could pack my stuff and go home. Nobody would notice.
Yeah, right. Okay, so let's speak to whoever's out there, right? You can speak from your personal knowledge. I rather assume that there are people out there who are in a group, troop, an ensemble, a community, and they're thinking, I do want to make change. I want to shift things. I want to say something, whatever. And whether or not they're in a place where they're ready to speak up or will be. How do you, as a person and a woman who is comfortable sharing her voice, have you ever felt like someone was stopping that and they were like, could you just not? Could you just zip it for a sec? Or did you feel silenced? Have there been times where you felt? make change? How do you drive forward with a group? How do you evolve it? Because really, at the end of the day, improv is very much a live art form. And so we should be aware of the world around us and constantly evolving and changing. How do you make change in an improv group or company?
Yeah, you talk. You gotta talk. And let me also say, this big group, 14 people, it's just absurd to think that 14 different people, every one of you are gonna go along and hit it off perfectly. You're not. So you have to accept that we are 14 different people, or whatever size your group is. You're different, and you are going to disagree. You are going to hate each other and also love each other, but you have to talk, and then you compromise. Okay, I can swallow this one, and then you change that one. So it's all about talking.
Yeah. What you said is so apt. The expectation that you're all just going to be on the same page is crazy, right? Especially if hopefully you're all beautiful artists with different perspectives and backgrounds. So why would you? Why would it be easy?
It's not easy. It's so hard. It's actually impossible. This group I've been with since 2013, and those people I hated in the beginning, I love them now. You know, you learn to love them, and then you get to know people, and also you change, you grow. And also I learned to love the flaws of the people I love and hate. You know, it's good to have diversity in a group. And if you have 5 or 15 copies of one person, it's going to be a boring show. And you're not going to learn a lot. Because I learn the most when I play with somebody that is completely different from me. Tough, maybe, challenging, but I'm also learning a hell of a lot about myself.
Tell me more about that. Explain to me about learning about others through improv. I really hear you about learning about yourself, but we'll put that to the side for the moment because I want to know more about learning about others through improv. Yeah. How does that work for you?
It's a big question. Let's see. I have a trio as well, and this is 2 of my best friends. We got to know each other through the big group. We found out that, hey, we like each other. Let's do more together. Working in this trio has really made me learn, really get to know them as persons and also performers. And I think it's so cool that you can, together with somebody, evolve, grow. You follow each other, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you actually grow different paths, but maybe you meet again. It could be like 1 year, all the shows the trio and me is doing is just awesome and super fun and everything is going well, and then suddenly something is just, what's going on? Why are we not having as much fun? Or why do we kind of get shitty shows? What's happening? And then we're back again, and then it's many reasons why it happens. Life. Sometimes you just have a bad period in your life and that affects you, and it's interesting and cool to share that with somebody. My scene partners and teammates, I think those are my closest friends here in this life.
Why does the improv knit you together? Why is it different than theater or being coworkers or just friends from university? Why?
Even though you're playing characters and being goofy and silly, or playing characters and not being silly, but even though you're characters, you're always yourself in a way. When I'm on stage, I am myself. I'm Martine improvising. With the traditional theater, you're playing a part, you're playing a role. You read that role description and you work on that role. But me on stage as an improviser, I'm never doing that. I'm always using myself, and I'm myself with different layers on. You're very vulnerable and you have to take the mask off. You're so open and vulnerable, and then you're doing this with this other person, or 14. You're forced to learn a lot about these other persons, and if you don't, then maybe you're not a very good improviser.
Oh, I love that, actually. Like, if you're not learning, it should be a constant education.
Yeah,
I like that.
This leads to, when you're learning so much about another person and they are learning so much about you, it's just natural that you become very close friends. And also, an improv show can feel like a roller coaster, give you this adrenaline rush. Makes people connect more.
You're going through that together, absolutely. Okay, well, I'm bringing us to a close. If you would like to share words of wisdom, you could speak to anyone you want, frankly, but how about the younger version of you, the improv community, or the creeper on the internet at 3 a.m.? What do you want to say? What are your words of wisdom?
Oh, I've been seeing this moment, trying to anticipate this moment when somebody would ask me, give me your wisdom words. Just give more, what do you call it? Gi mer fan. That's a Norwegian way of saying, how do you say it? Don't care about shit.
Be carefree.
Well, gi mer fan, it means more, say more fuck it.
Don't worry about the little things, like just have a good time.
Yeah. Okay. Have a good time. Don't care too much about details and stuff. Just have fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Say more fuck it.
Gi mer fan?
Gi mer fan.
Gi mer fan. Okay. All right. I like it. Wait, does the fan mean fun?
No.
Oh, because it sounds like have more fun.
No. Fun means fuck.
Oh, okay. Great. Well, thanks for teaching me to swear. Awesome.
You're welcome.
All right. And finally, if people are in the area and they want to come see a show, hang out, what's a really traditional Norwegian drink they would buy you?
A drink?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to say beer, but I guess akevitt.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't drink that, so beer.
If someone wants to come buy you a beer, or they're in the area and they want to watch a show, how can people find you?
Well, do you want my address?
I mean, maybe not on the internet. Unless it's an internet address.
You can find us on the big group. It's called Improv-operatørene.
I put it below.
Write it. And also Rabagast is the trio. We have officially opened the theater.
Okay, amazing. What's it called?
It's called Trikutam. It's a new theater. It's going to be improv and lots of other arts.
Oh, do you want to come here and open a theater? We could really use an improv theater in Hong Kong, if you don't mind. That'd be great.
I'll come as soon as the corona is over. I'm going to come over and open a theater.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Thank you so very much for your time and your kind thoughts. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Martina. It was lovely to speak with you.
Thank you.
And to you all, this is Improving the World. I'm Lauren, and there's more where that came from. Bye. So, did you love the video? If you did, please say kind and beautiful things in the comments down below. Do subscribe, especially if you're feeling sassy, and look for more Improving the World. Bye.